Good morning, everybody. Mark Finan here in the home weather office on this Tuesday morning. It's now the 22nd day of July, 2025. This is the morning briefing coming to you from the home weather office, and looking out the window from the home weather office, it's cloudy. It's cool. Like I said yesterday, is this really July? Yeah, we are going to continue with this cooler than average weather throughout the week. And this cloud cover last night gave us a really nice dramatic sky. There's some virga out there. Some areas had some sprinkles yesterday. Really, really interesting pattern. And like I said, this is going to continue for a little while, even though the cloud cover we have right now will be decreasing. A couple of things to point out here on the satellite this morning. We have a deep marine layer here along the coast. We have this band of clouds which slowly sank to the south during the day yesterday. And yeah, yesterday morning it was up here. Today it's down here. So it's really not moving all that quickly. And then underneath it, it's kind of tough to tell, but you have two levels of cloud cover here. So you have these clouds that are streaming on by. And then underneath it, right in here, there's marine layer that is over parts of Sacramento County, and as I look out the window from the home weather office, that's what I'm seeing as marine layer. Other areas have clear skies, and as you can see, let's see, the Sutter Buttes are right in here, and then we have nice clear skies toward Redding and farther to the north. Also rather cloudy this morning in Napa and Sonoma. The other thing I want to point out is, I couldn't show you this yesterday, but remember the green fire that was burning right in here? Just on the side of Shasta, Lake Shasta. So that's really not putting up much smoke anymore. I know it's not fully contained, and there are probably still some areas that are going to kind of smolder for a while, but it's really not putting up that much smoke, meaning great air quality in Redding. This is the Butler fire, which continues to burn, and you can see the early morning has the smoke down into the river valleys, which is rather common. The smoke lays down in the valleys first thing in the morning and then lifts and vents in the afternoon. But you can see the smoke, and it doesn't even look like that much smoke up here along the state line. But with a southerly flow, all of the smoke coming off the Butler fire will be staying well north of our region. So comfortable temperatures as well as good air quality. Yeah, not much to complain about. So let's talk a little bit about these temperatures. So I've been showing you this. This is this month so far at Executive Airport. We have that one day over 100. Yesterday, 81 degrees. Wow. So we're doing good. The average temperature for the month is now down to 74.3. It came down by 0.2 yesterday and will continue to drop. We're 1.5 degrees below the average for the month. So yesterday I showed you a chart showing the last 25 years of not only the average temperature, but the days over 100. With a lot of this week, we're expecting temperatures in Sacramento to stay under 90. Let's instead take a look at the number of days over 90. And so for that, we've got this chart from the NWS. And this is a chronological look starting in the year 2000 and then going down to 2025. And of course, this month isn't in just yet. So this is chronologically looking at it. So we can look at last year. Last year at Executive Airport, there were 26 days over 90. The mean is 22 days over 90. Let's flip this around. Instead of just showing you in chronological, let's go in the ascending order, or descending order, if you will. Ascending order. So in the last 25 years, the fewest is 14. Back in 2000 and 2011, we had 15. In 2010, we had 16. So just about half the month was under 90 degrees in those years. So pretty nice. So 14 is the least out of the last 25. Let's go back to this page and let's look down here. And so far, the number of days over 90 is 12. Now, if, and it's a big if we go through the rest of this month without hitting 90, and I have a feeling we may get back up to 90, maybe by the weekend or next week, before the month ends. But either way, we're going to be in this range here, 14, 15, 16, that we did in 2000, 2011, and 2010. Pretty nice range to be in. 2010 actually went pretty well the rest of the way. August was relatively cool. In September, we had half the month. In 2011, actually August and September had more days, and then in 2000 it stayed about the same. Went up a bit in August and then dropped in September. So yeah, this is the kind of company we're keeping. Now, some people have been asking me, why is this happening? And my first reaction is, it's almost like you're wondering why you won the lottery. Well, let's take a look. My first reaction is like, let's just enjoy it. Let's not question why this is happening. So what I'm looking at here are sea surface temperature anomalies. So this is the departure from average for the sea surface temperature. There is a, let's see, can I move this up enough so you can see it? Yeah, there's a scale down here. So this is 0 here. And so these blues are into the negative, the reds and oranges are into the positive. So in other words, these areas are much above average, and then these areas are much below average. So right now, the waters off the coast of California, it's not just that they're cold, as they usually are, they're colder than average by 1 or 2 degrees. Now, maybe you've been seeing some headlines from forecasters over in the Bay Area that have been talking about how cool it has been there in one of the coolest summers on record so far in places like San Francisco and San Jose. Well, this is more directly correlated to that, the cooling along the coast. How much impact that has inland to the valley, not really sure, because we do depend on the delta breeze to come from that. And so how this interacts with the marine layer, it's tough to pinpoint. But it is interesting to note that we do have cooler than average water off of all of the west coast here. I can't zoom in this map anymore, but you can see that area blue, and that's some of the coldest considering average. Also, just since we're here, if you look at the equatorial Pacific, this is the El Nino La Nina range, the ENSO area, and this is all pretty neutral right now. And that's another thing, when we do get into an El Nino and La Nina, sometimes people confuse the waters off the coast of California with the waters down in here. I've seen that in the past, where if we are in El Nino, which means warmer than average water here, that some people say, oh yeah, there's warm water off the coast of California. No, these are not related. So if an El Nino, La Nina is warmer or cooler than average water temperatures here, not related to water temperatures here or here. It's the equatorial Pacific. All right, so we've had this nice onshore breeze, and this is the breeze we'll have today. More or less the same, maybe a little bit lower than what we had last evening, but still a nice onshore breeze, helping to keep temperatures in a really nice range. And depending how long these clouds stick around, some areas, if the clouds stick around long enough today, may struggle to get to 80 degrees. So again, you may ask, is this really July? So this is at 5 o'clock. It'll be another gusty evening into Solano County, as well as into San Joaquin County and Contra Costa counties. And a little breezy in the afternoon on the east side of the Sierra. And once again, that south wind goes well up the valley so that any smoke coming off the Butler fire continues to get steered to the north. That's today. Let's skip ahead to tomorrow at 5 p.m. Looks just like today, doesn't it? More of that up valley flow, more good onshore breezes, keeping temperatures maybe in the low to mid 80s when the average high is around 92, 93. And then this is the day on Thursday, same pattern. Windy on the east side of the Sierra, up valley flow, keeping the air quality really nice. And so let's look at the big picture here, the 500 millibar flow. And we have this trough hanging around, and that's where that band of clouds is hung up right here. It's right in there. And this will just kind of like hang around. We have this low spinning around out here. The flow will change a little bit, but we will continue to see mild temperatures, 80s. And then look at that. Let's see, what day are we up to now? We are now up to Sunday. Still, we have the trough. The big high is to the east. And the overall pattern stays the same. The high tries to nudge to the west. We have enough of this troughiness next week to keep temperatures at or below average which is nice. So again, I mean, you can look for causes for why we're having a cooler than average summer, but do remember that we've had summers like this, and I showed you examples just in the last 25 years, and I could go back farther in time into the 70s, 80s, 90s, and we'd find a lot more examples like this as well. It's nothing weird, and actually, if you look at it, it doesn't always happen this quickly. But last year was an anomaly to the high side. This year is an anomaly to the low side. I'll bet that if we average last year's 100s and 90s, and then with this year, just within those 2 years, it'll probably balance out to something, close to the long-term average. So you can either, wonder why is this happening, or you could just enjoy it and enjoy the lower AC bills that we'll have as a result of the cooler than average weather this summer. Either way, get out and enjoy the day. Hope you enjoy these cooler than average temperatures. That's everything I've got for you today. Make it a great day. I'll talk with you later.